you don't have to worry about the intro. You don't have to worry about the intro. Don't worry about
you don't
it.
have to
Yeah,
worry about it.
we'll
Yeah.
just be God.
Yeah.
Like we
Yeah.
never left.
That's right.
So we just straight up in this. We're straight up
That's
in
right.
here.
We in there. This is Speaking the Facts with Charlie and JR. Another Tuesday with another facts time, another facts
Channel.
Yeah, I was checking with the producer to make sure I was saying it right. See, because
Exactly.
she got on me last time. So again, yeah, Speaking of Facts with Charlie and JR, and of course I am JR, aka Fly Guy. What's up, Charlie?
I'm here with my pop.
AKA Fly Money.
I'm Fly Money. Hello, Father.
Hello, Doctor.
So we're trying to be proper.
Yes.
You know.
Yes. I was trying to think of the fact. Yeah. I was trying to think of the rest of that. Where that from? What movie was that from?
Cheese?
Yeah. What's that from? That's exactly what I was thinking. What is that from?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Anybody who knows,
yeah. Anybody who knows, let us know. I'm trying to think of what that was from. But that was it. Father. Are we out of government cheese, Father? Yeah, I remember that.
Yes.
So
grilled cheese.
Yeah. So anyway, the third fly girl in the house of this shit's fly came over there. The producer manning the phone, and and we got Angelo in the house as the engineer. What's up, Angelo?
Yay!
Yeah. And so this week we talking about the pursuit of happiness. Now that can mean different things to different people.
That's right.
So I thought I would go ahead and get the little seriousness out of the way, as I was told.
We gotta be serious
for a few minutes. That's for our producer.
Like doing this every week.
Well, it's just
we like to keep serious to like.
Yeah, we have to. That's why we do it the first couple of minutes, just to get it out the way. But we have to lay a foundation for what we're talking about.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? So,
y'all got the timer out.
That's right. Y'all ready? Well, okay. But happiness. I mean, I think to really define happiness, I think you have to look for where it comes from.
Okay.
Any word that ends in "ness" is really one of two things. It's either a state of being or it's an act.
Right.
like the act of kindness.
Correct.
Happiness is a state of being.
Correct.
Very
true.
If you are talking about a state of being, then how can you continue being? You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is.
Right.
And so happiness and joy, I think are different. They're different, but they're the same.
The same.
But I do believe that happiness springs from joy. Joy is something that can be eternal for everyone.
Correct.
Yes. And so if we know what brings us joy, then and we are joyful, then it is easier to experience happiness because it's a state of being. It's an experience.
That's right.
So just understanding that happiness is itself is a part of something else. It's a part of and joy is something that if you understand where your joy comes from, then happiness is the pursuit of it that we're going to talk about.
Right.
The pursuit of it is much easier.
That's right.
You are able to experience happiness much more frequently.
That's right.
And the other thing, and then we'll get off the seriousness, is that of course one axiom does not exist without the other in life of anything.
Correct.
There's no rain without the sun. There's no left without right. There's no up without down.
So it's a process.
Yeah. So we have to realize that although happiness will come and go, joy does spring eternal.
That's
what I'm saying?
That's
so
right. Waking up in the morning.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. Happy to be here.
I'm happy to be here.
So anyway, now that I've gotten the series 2 out of 10, it wasn't even 2 minutes.
It wasn't even 2 minutes, but it was good. I like how you said that, and there's things that when you were talking about the joy and obviously the happiness and I was thinking about paying bills for a moment. It pains you sometimes, but after you get them out the way, it's like, okay, you feel good about it. You might be happy. You might say, hey, I ain't got nothing left, but I did what I was supposed to do.
That's right.
It brings you joy.
That's right. It does. That's right. You get that peace, for the next so many days.
I know, till they come around again.
Yeah, till they come around again. Yep.
But on that serious note, there are things that you have to do to, of course, maintain happiness,
Yes.
and to maintain balance. And to that note, there are things that create happiness for people, and it comes from many different things. So obviously, genetics make people happy. Hate to bring genetics into it, but obviously there's big business with plastic surgery and all of that.
Or yes,
So
or
yeah, right.
aesthetics.
Aesthetics,
Yes,
yeah. So that's big business because people get things done and it makes them happy. Socioeconomics, that makes people happy. There's but obviously those things are external factors, right?
Yeah.
But internally, what are people doing
Yeah.
to bring that about?
Yeah.
And
Exactly. For me, I guess the question becomes, because whatever makes you happy, it becomes both your friend and your enemy.
that's true.
Because if there is something that makes you happy,
Mhm.
and that thing is taken away, then is your happiness taken away with it?
Correct.
And if so, then that thing had the power and you didn't.
That's true.
That's true. So
I know one thing that made you happy.
What's that?
The birth of me.
Yes, it did.
I'm just saying, like the
And-
clouds.
And 60 years later, I'm still smiling.
66. You try to try to.
Well, no, I was talking about you, not me.
but I always say, the clouds parted, the sun came out, and there I came.
That's right.
But that's one thing that does make life complete for many people, and that's having children.
Yes.
It people get to understand what love is at that point in time. A lot of people say, "Hey, I didn't understand what love was until when I had my children."
Yeah.
You have your parents, and you love them, they love you, but it's not really until you become in that parenting role that it begins that different level. And then your why becomes providing for your kids so they can be happy, so they can experience joy, right? So they can go to Chuck E. Cheese. Did you take me to Chuck E. Cheese?
I think we did do the Chuck E. Cheese thing a couple times, but
I might have been afraid of that.
Yeah. Me and Chucky was never cool. I had we didn't run in the same circle.
He asked for all the tokens.
And
Kim, you went to Chuck E. Cheese too.
And
oh, they didn't have Chuck E. Cheese.
Oh.
Dad, did they have Chuck E. Cheese when you was born?
Yes, and they had Chuck E. Cheese when someone else was born too.
How long has Chuck E. Cheese been around?
Chuck E. Cheese has been around a while. I think Chuck E. Cheese has been around since the 70s.
How did if I was born and Chuck E. Cheese was around, then you was born and it was around. Y'all might not have had it in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, 1977. So yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Chucky been around a while.
A minute. Taking people's money for tokens.
Yeah, Chucky getting senior citizen discounts now.
That's right. But I think happiness definitely has I think about upgrading yourself, and upgrading yourself can bring about happiness.
Yes.
Meaning studying and learning. I told a young man yesterday, because he was talking about, I'm in school and gosh, I can't wait for this to be over. And I told him, I said, don't wish your life away, because you need to take the time to learn your skill, your trade, your craft. Just like you being born took 9 months, you're fast tracking your career. Take this 9 months so you can be the best at your skill and your craft, and you can make money. And if you're making money, guess what you are? You're happy. You can pay your bills.
She's right. We don't want to leave the impression with people that money will make you happy, because it won't. However, a lot of the unhappiness of the world can be mitigated with a few bucks, So
just a couple.
Yeah.
And Dad, I know me and Dad always try to coordinate every week.
Of course.
I know. And this week, I'm gonna have to take off this sweater because I am baking here.
Allow me.
Thank you, Father. We're just because Lord, I'm
so
getting in my younger years here. I sometimes I get a little more.
Yeah, in those younger years, that's and the younger you get, the younger I get.
That's right.
you know. So, what you think about that, Kim?
We still got our fall winter look
Oh
going
yes,
on.
that's right.
So
That's right.
that so besides the birth of me, and knowing that, that was happiness all the way around for you, but other than children, what else made you happy? Was it singing? Was it, I
Mu-
mean, what was it?
Music is um, it is a it's a spiritual release for me. So it does provide happiness.
Mhm.
But it springs from the joy I have of just of of being both a musician and a fan. I mean,
Mhm.
I am really a fan of the arts, of music, of acting, of so it it does bring, both brings joy, and I get to experience happiness from
Right.
doing those things.
Right.
Now, and I do ask myself quite a bit. I'll say, well, what if you woke up tomorrow and you couldn't sing?
Mhm.
I will ask myself that, because again, anything that you give that kind of power to, if it's taken away, will you still stand?
It's
So
true.
so I that's why I try to separate the happiness and the joy just enough, so that that even if I can't get the happiness from singing, if I lost
Mhm.
my voice tomorrow, I still can experience get joy from living.
That's right.
You
That's
know.
right. And I like how you broke that down because it's true. It's not bottled into one. It's definitely different compartments. You have happiness and your joy, and if something does bring you happiness, if that is, like you said, if that is taken away, what happens?
Right.
And so, like, I will share for me. 2 years ago now, I lost my voice. Well, I lose my voice every year. Anybody who knows me knows I lose my voice. I lose my voice every year. Well, a couple of years ago, I lost it back to back to back. And so it created nodules on my vocal cords. So I used to sing all the time. You remember
Yes, you
that?
did.
And I can no longer sing.
In fact, I used to get quite get joy from listening to you sing that Michelle A song. I can't even forget the name of it.
Yeah, yeah. I used to sing all of it.
Yeah.
You name it, I was singing, even the high pitched things, and I can't do that no more because of the nodules on my vocal cords. So sometimes I think, oh gosh, I remember I used to sing that. I can't do that no more. And so, but to be able to sing again requires surgery.
Yes.
That requires no talking at all for I don't know how long. And I know that wouldn't bring me joy. But I can still talk to y'all. I can still hum. And I know the lyrics to the song. And yeah, I know that if I had to live in complete solace, I mean, no, nothing, and had a pen and paper and a pad, I don't know. I don't
So
know. I would not be happy and I would not have joy.
so you are now Hum Along Charlie. Is that what it is?
Hum along, Charlie. Every now and again, I'd be like, "Oh, my voice surprised me," and other times, yeah.
And that is something that a lot of singers end up facing, is
Singer's voice.
having to have the nodules removed. As a matter of fact, Steven Tyler, the lead singer with Aerosmith, he's his voice is so wrecked that they had to cancel their tours for a year at least.
Wow.
Yeah,
For it to come back.
and at their age, they may not they may not have a year.
Right, yeah.
And for anybody watching, I wasn't being cynical when I laughed. I was just facing the reality of it. When you're late 70s, early 80s, you may not have another year.
Right.
So
reduce yelling and screaming at people for no reason because they don't need your voice.
Well, yes, and the interesting thing about singing is that you can't, if you play an instrument, when you're done with the instrument, you put the instrument in the case and close the case and walk away.
Yeah.
But
singing
but with the voice,
like
you can't take your voice out and put it in the case, and rest it.
Yeah.
So it becomes important to learn how to
protect it.
how to speak without wrecking your voice.
That's true. And just so y'all know, whispering is harder on your voice than actually talking just so you know, it's quite opposite of what you're thinking. You think, oh, if I is actually harder on your vocal cords than it is to just talk.
And you know, Michael Jackson did the whispering thing, and it I think when it did take its toll, it took a large toll, because his voice, he went from being like a first, second tenor to almost a baritone almost instantly, because he had whispered so long. I think he had really, you know, had wrecked his voice. So by the time he did Butterflies, he really didn't have much range anymore. So yeah, it is rough on the voice. So so you've had to get your happiness and your joy from other things.
Correct. So the happiness and joy that I receive, I'm a silly person. I love cracking my corny jokes. I definitely get, you know, I love that. I love making other people smile. I love service. I love giving back to the people. I love volunteering. You know, these are things that I do quite often because I think it's important, and it definitely does. It brings me joy and it makes me happy to just to help people. That's definitely what I love.
Yeah, you know,
Will you call Jasmine?
happiness is for me.
Tell her we.
No, we talked about music, but you know, I my joy springs from my relationship with God.
Amen to that.
You know, and that is, I think that is, I know it's paramount for me. I can't tell anyone else to have it be paramount for them, but if I know that if all of your happiness, if all of your joy is linked to something something tangible or physical, and that thing deteriorates or dies or is taken away, you know, it's your life is like a tennis ball. You're constantly being slammed on the ground and bouncing back up, hopefully bouncing back up.
Right.
Because some people,
and as Cat Williams said, I loved it. He was like, not everybody's blessed to have trampoline skin. I know I got trampoline skin.
Yeah, you know. But I even in that, you know, he said trampoline skin, and I like that analogy.
I definitely, I would have never even thought about it that way, but yeah.
But even in that,
trampoline, what is trampoline skin? What it means to me is to be able to bounce back.
Yeah. But even in that, a trampoline wears out, a ball wears out. You know what I'm saying? But you still want to extend the life of that thing, whatever it is. So
depends on what you have jumping on you too. No.
Now that's another show.
Definitely.
But you know, but yeah, my relationship with God is something that can't be taken from me. So, and I think that's important when you talk about real happiness, because everything else can be taken from you.
Right.
You know, everything else can be taken from you. You know. Yeah. So
what's the scripture with it?
Oh, okay. So the producer just told me that there is a scripture associated with that. Said the story that I have, the joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me, and the world can't take it away. You know, exactly. So, and that's really, I guess, in our pursuit of happiness, you know, because I think when we put it out on the Facebook page, we ask questions. What drives your happiness? Is it eating food? Is it, you know, is it buying clothes? Is it going out socially? Is it sexually driven? You know, is it, you know, so these are all things that, like you said, that people spend money on to make themselves happy.
Right.
You know, or get engaged in to make themselves happy.
That's true.
You know, so
and we all, and you know, if we spent probably more time upgrading ourselves, and I'm not talking about outwardly, but actually inwardly, you know, if we upgrade ourselves, meaning increase your knowledge base, you know, read, take time to learn, and follow the things that actually are going to make you a better you.
Yes.
I think too many of us are fans of things that do not better us. And so, for example, I'm be honest, like I'm all in the whole Cat Williams, Shannon Sharp thing. Like I've watched it a couple of times. I'm a fan of it, and pretty much became a follower because I was like, oh, this person said this person said this, but those things actually don't make me a better person.
Yeah.
And so I think that's something that we have to be mindful of, is to become followers of the things that actually make us better and that's going to help us grow. Not a fan of something that's going to keep us distracted, because distractions don't make us happy.
No.
And definitely don't bring us joy.
Exactly. And some things need to be encapsulated. You know what I'm saying? You don't want your aspirin in the same bottle, with your M&Ms. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Some things do need to be encapsulated or separated. So and I get in this conversation all the time because if something is entertainment, when you take that word, it is, if you break it down, we're being entertained, but is entertainment is it, like you said, is it beneficial? I think I'll use the word beneficial.
Speaking the facts, are we beneficial?
Well,
I mean, if you're a follower of the show and a fan, we appreciate it because we try to bring.
Yeah, we bring, we talk about things that you can use to improve your life if you choose to.
Right.
Because it is a choice.
News you can use or news you can't.
You mentioned Cat Williams. He talked about his relationship with God, and that's even when he did, he said that's some folks will, some won't.
That's right.
And even the Bible itself says that some will, some won't.
That's right. That's right.
So but I know that entertainment can't be so important, like you said, that you can't become so distracted by it that you lose your motivation to become a better person.
That's right. That's right. And I think that's probably, if you sit down, like in our day and age, it's hard to capture people. Like, even our show, we're on here for 45, 50 minutes. How many people are really truly sitting down and saying, okay, I'm going to watch the whole thing? How many distractions come in? Most people give 15 minutes, and that's a lot. It's hard to, I feel like everybody has ADD, right? Nobody can truly give. It's hard to sit down and give, 15 minutes, let alone, going back to the Cat Williams, Shannon Sharp thing, 2 hours and 46 minutes, which I gave it. I gave them 6 hours and 88 minutes. Because I watched it twice.
You didn't get your button? I gave?
I know. And I watched the commentary and I watched the comebacks. I probably given about 10 hours. Valuable hours.
I do. Audience, do we hear a little remorse in her voice?
No, not at all, because I enjoyed every moment of it.
There you go.
I watched it, and at the end of the day, I think honestly, probably what really I know that makes me happy, and I can probably say even for you and other people, probably what makes people most happy is just to have the truth, to know where they stand day to day.
Yeah.
We're not as with their family, with work, relationships, hey, where I stand at, so you can make your educated decision. You can make that decision that's beneficial, that's going to move you forward to the next place.
I want to expound on what you just said. It hit me. When you said, where do I stand with my family, with work and everything? And I just want to maybe turn that coin over if we can, because maybe we should, and this is just for conversation, I guess, but maybe we should stand where we choose to stand.
Okay.
And then let others figure out, either stand with us or not.
If it's quicksand, no.
Well, if you're in quicksand, you ain't standing too long. But I mean, just stand where we are supposed to stand. Stand where I can get, the rays of the sun, where I can have the ground under my feet and feel like you
have a firm, solid foundation.
Yeah. So,
that brings me happy.
Yeah. And so, But yes, but you talked about the 10 hours you gave, because I want to keep finish that point,
Mhm.
because uh my daughter, like, I know she gets up at least 4:35 in the morning,
Yeah.
and
What time I text you this morning, Kim? No.
and she's working and working and working. So that 10 hours that was a treat, because you
Yes,
work long
it
hours.
was mindless. I sat on the couch on a Friday evening because I think about a lot of people watched it on Thursday, and I was like, "Oh wow,
But
it was good."
but that 10 hours hasn't taken you away from your focus.
No, no, no.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So that's,
exactly.
I wanted
Yeah.
to make that point, that because it was like, oh, they said we shouldn't get distracted, and she spent 10
Yeah,
hours.
I
So,
know, right?
you know,
I don't say I watched it the first time like uninterrupted. Then when I was driving in my car here, there, and everywhere, I had it playing. Just like I even have my there's an app called Headway, and I love it because it actually takes 15 minutes from all these different books that are books that can improve you, improve self. And so it pulls the highlights or what it feels the highlights is. And
oh,
so
okay.
you get 15-minute snippets. And in the morning, I love it. I have a reminder in the morning. It says, "Are you ready for your 15 minutes to improve yourself?" I'm like, "Sure I am," And so I listen to these things. And it just,
And it makes you happy.
it makes me happy. It doesn't reinvent the wheel, but it just creates me to think about the wheel a little differently every day. And so I love probably the other thing that makes me happy is being creative. Like I love coming up with different ideas and saying, okay, let me try this. And it's important for me because the way my brain works, any idea that I come up with, I must write it down.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a must. Not that I'm old and forgetful, but
Well,
I'll come. I
maybe.
mean, I may have another idea that I come up with that'll kind of mess up the other one I had. So I got to like keep them in order.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm the same way. I have to write stuff down, and I truly regret it when I don't, because there's
Mm-hmm.
times
You
when I
like,
fight
oh,
against
you
it.
like,
It's
dang.
like, write it down. I'm gonna remember it this time.
Right.
I do that to myself. I'll actually fight with myself. This time it's gonna be different. Like Rocky and Bullwick, nothing up a sleeve, presto. But that never works this time for sure.
That's right. That's right.
So,
Yes.
but yeah, and as you can tell from that little repartee there, that cartoons.
Right.
As me and cartoons is like,
Exactly.
yeah, because
Bugs Bunny, Elmer Fudd, and then I think about the correct happy, happy, joy, joy.
Oh,
I don't know where that came from, but that's part of what we're talking about today.
yeah, but yeah, just things that
Huh?
Ren and
Ren and
Stimpy.
Stimpy. So that's a newer.
Yeah.
Okay, that was happy, happy, joy, joy. That's a newer. Probably.
Oh yeah,
I don't
they
even
had
know.
and they and that was Ren and Stimpy had the commercial. They that log, and it was the log with so it was hard for me to, there were snippets of Ren and Stimpy I thought was funny, but it was hard for me to I thought, for me, cartoons were going a little sideways at that point.
Mhm.
But now Dexter's Laboratory, see,
He's smart.
yeah,
And he's witty.
Yeah,
And he's all about problem solving. And hey, I will say that doing math never ever 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 made me happy, right? That math was not my subject, did not really enjoy it. Algebra, geometry, calculus, physics, all that stuff is just like, what is the point? But what it creates is problem solving skills,
well, yes, it does.
which can make you pretty
Which
happy.
can make you happy, yes.
If you know how to solve problems.
Well,
And so
at least problem solving skills will bring peace over you, in that I can address this. Maybe not today,
mhm,
but I can come up with a plan to address this.
right.
So, and that will bring you peace. So do you well, I already know the answer, but I'm gonna ask it anyway for
Okay.
the viewing audience. But do you have anything that you do physically to the physical exercise exertion?
Oh.
Do you have anything in that genre that makes you happy?
Yes. So those who that do follow, I work out. I try to work out 3 days a week. That's my commitment to me. And I promise y'all, I dread it. Like in the morning, I'm like, oh my goodness, I gotta stop reading or stop listening to my audiobook to go put on workout clothes to go work out. But I do look forward to after, I say this all the time. After I finish working out, I feel like I can conquer and accomplish anything because I've just, pushed through an hour of what, I know is good for me. But if I could figure out how to master the effects of how my body feels and not work out, then yeah, I'll do it.
If I could just bottle that,
if I could just skip it,
Yeah.
but I do love that it does provide me clarity. It increases the serotonin. It increases all of those things that I need to where when I'm walking out of there, I'm like, look, I can do this, bring it on. And then when I put on my clothes, I'm like, hey, you can put this on because you
can wear that because you got off them pounds.
That's right. That's right. So that definitely does make me happy. And that's where I was talking about, earlier when we talk about happiness, I said, socioeconomics, genetics, there are these things that people label, unfortunately, that are exterior that definitely do bring people happy,
Yes.
Where you live, where you work, how you look,
exactly.
These are all things that create happiness and joy for people.
Yeah. And like I said, of course, the Achilles
was that being serious?
Well, yes, you were. See, it ain't so bad. But I think that, and I guess being slightly serious, the three elements of man: the spiritual man, the mental man, and the physical man or woman. I believe that in the pursuit of happiness, we have to feed all three healthy food. You know what I'm saying? I think that you if you eat really poorly, it creates all kind of negative physical and biological negative effects in your body, and it's hard to be happy when you don't feel good.
That's true.
And a lot of people are grumpy because they just don't know what it is to feel good.
Right. And it's something to be said of being happy in your own skin. Like, I could say that I'm happy that I'm a Black woman. I couldn't imagine being anything else.
Yeah.
But you have people
not me, my daughter, you can't.
I know. I gotta be proud to be Black.
That's right.
I know. I'm Black and I'm proud.
That's right.
Well, that's one thing that going back to Cat Williams said. He goes, I am a pro-Black, non-racist person.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well said.
That's well said.
I'm very happy that I'm Black and it feels good, and I couldn't imagine being any other color. I do remember, growing up and really I hate to say not really realizing, because you didn't really talk about when we were growing up, we didn't talk about color. You didn't talk about anything. We just grew up regular. You just looked in the mirror. It wasn't, and probably until we got into school that it was, that was brought out to our attention,
Yeah. And, I didn't address it. And that's probably, looking back, that's probably a failing to some degree because because my mother was white. So race is something that I realized early on that, love doesn't come from a color. It doesn't come from a color. It comes from the heart. It comes from, it's an act. And my mother that took me in and raised me, and that's my mama, but that was an act of love. And so I just took that every, that gave me happiness. Is that
why your favorite TV show was Bob Hope? I'm just kidding.
Y'all, my favorite TV show was not Bob Hope. Don't let her tell you that. Although I Bob Hope was talented though. I will give him that. Yeah. And some of y'all was like, Bob Hope, who was he? See, but the fact that she said Bob Hope means that age is coming on. See, just come on in. The water's fine.
I know, right? The water's fine.
But But exactly. See, it brings me, like I said, my joy stems from my relationship with God. But I do get happiness from being 66 and being able to run and jump and move and do things. It's I noticed that I did notice when Shannon Sharp was talking to Cat Williams, they asked him a couple times how old he was, and then he didn't say. You
Mm-hmm.
know, and I guess that's an individual thing. I tell people how old I am because I want people to know that there is life, in the later years. I mean, you can really live and not just get old. You can really live, and you can live youthfully and productively, and that brings me happiness.
There you go.
The I as you may or may not know, I'm a vegetarian. So and we are going to, we'll talk about, of course, we're going to talk about health a lot on the show and stuff, because that's, because we want to be healthy people.
Right.
But, it brings me joy. My body looks forward to me eating healthy now. There was
Right.
a time when it was difficult, but now even, I even like you're working out. Like after I've done yoga in the morning, I'll go stand in the mirror and try to start getting myself together. My body will still be, reaching for that next stretch,
Right. Yeah.
because it's like, yeah, bring it, come on,
Right. Right.
So it does, feeling good does allow you to be happy.
Right. So in summation, we talked about, obviously improving yourself, your daily acts, upgrading your personality, um, your simple joys, your pleasures, your habits, genetics, where you live, just all these different things. At the end of the day, I think it's hard for a person to, bottle all that together, right? And say,
Right.
this is what makes me happy. So every day you're not going, I hate to say you're not going to be happy, but everything is not going to make you happy every day. And so what we are, I guess, trying to get across to people is that find those things that do make you happy, whatever it is, regardless of circumstance, so you can keep that light shining, because it actually is an act, as you're saying. It's a choice.
It is.
It's an action. It's a verb. It can be an adjective.
That's right.
It has to be something that you're adamant about, that you won't allow anyone take away from you.
Exactly. It has to be. It's like a well. You can dip a dipper or a bucket down into that well and get water, but that water's coming in somewhere. So we have to find out what waters us,
right?
So that we can in turn give life, give love, give joy to other people. But it's got to be coming in from somewhere, and that's again where my relationship with God feeds. That's that wellspring for me. But whoever you are, and however you believe, what's important, but remember too, with happiness, and then we'll kind of wind it down, but thoughts become things. Thoughts. So if you are feeling, if you're not
things,
happy,
remember that
if
whatever you thinketh, you become it.
Well, yeah. If you're feeling bad, it's because your thoughts, because all your feelings come from your thoughts, all of them. So if you're not feeling happy, check yourself right then and see what you're thinking about. And I guarantee you it's something that is bringing on those negative emotions. And if you will change your thoughts, your feelings will change. Now that's easier said than done, but it's good to know how to get into the fight, instead of just sitting there and just, I don't feel happy I didn't feel happy all day yesterday. You gotta,
and it's about, and the word that comes to mind, and which someone is just, manifesting, really writing it down, hey, I'm going to be happy. I'm going to be happy. I'm going to be happy. Programming yourself, reprogramming yourself to be positive as much as possible, and surround yourself with positive people. That's so important. And if you are a Christian and you do want to, love the Lord more, and, you'll find happiness through learning the word, and I don't want to say that the Bible itself is happy, because there's things that, you have to come to grips with, and you may even feel like you're losing yourself in learning the word.
Right.
But at the same time, you know, when you understand it and learn how to treat others, and how you always say, and I love it, if you love yourself, then you can love others.
Yeah,
Then that's going to bring that happiness into your life.
it will. It will. So I guess our producer says we're winding it down. Oh,
we got 10 more minutes.
we got 10 more minutes.
Oh,
Okay.
yes.
Oh, see, we've been given a reprieve.
I know. Okay.
So
dance.
let's give him a little better view. There we go.
Yes.
So since we've got 10 minutes, we talked about, like you said, we talked about all the things that can bring us happiness.
Right.
That can.
Mhm.
So how do you stay focused on being, because I don't know if most of you do know that Charlemagne or Charlie's in real estate, and it is she is now a realtor, and it is a very fast-paced, very competitive business, and so it can be stressful. It can be. And do you run across people that have let the real estate industry take their joy away from them?
I think so. I think I tell people this all the time, and I said it today. I believe I'm only capable of doing one thing at a time. And by me doing one thing at a time, it makes me efficient.
Yes.
Because I'm not trying to do 88 things at one time, and then I'm frazzled and I can't get nothing done because I'm trying to do everything all at once. One thing at a time. Hey, I'm going to knock this out. I'm moving on to the next one. I feel fulfilled. I feel happy. And so by doing one thing at a time, allows me to breathe, you know, because yes, finance, mortgage, real estate is very, very stressful. But if I'm doing one thing at a time, I'm able to breathe through the actions, through the steps, through the must-haves, the things that absolutely must be done. But if I do one thing at a time, hey, I'm flowing, I'm going, and I'm not distracted.
Oh, okay.
I mean, that's the key to me being efficient and being happy with my job. One thing at a time.
Yeah. I work with kids a lot, as you know, and that can be a challenge.
Right. So so he works for a nonprofit, and more so with you working with kids, they're going in and they're trying to teach these kids life skills.
Yes.
And life skills, aka home training, is very important, because if you don't have home training, you don't know how to act, you don't know how to conduct yourself in a way that's respectable to you and your family and your coworkers or your schoolmates. It's an issue.
Yes. Yeah, it is. And not being able to, that's one of the things that takes away our happiness, is not being able to manage productive relationships. You know, if you're talking to people and you're always grumpy, and you can't, no one can get can get you to be peaceful and share a kind moment,
Right.
it's that wears on us,
Right.
And I think another thing that takes away from our happiness, excuse me, and a lot of people do this.
It chokes them up a little bit.
Yes, I'm all choked up. Is to thine own self be true. Let me start there. A lot of people now, there are, and I didn't listen to hear Cat Williams say that, but yes, there are. When you get right down to it, there's about 7 personalities that people have.
Across the world,
in life, there's 7 basic personalities, and from there you get these little variations. But
multiple personalities.
Yeah, but every time, if I have a relationship with you, and then I hook up with Kim, and I become a different person to deal with Kim, and then I'm over here and I'm talking to Angelo, and I become a different person to deal with Angelo. Now I have to. That's 3 personalities I have to manage and shut on and shut off, and that in itself it drains us. And don't you know people that have all these different personalities to deal with their this people pleasing thing, where you come up with just the right personality that you think that person wants to deal with, instead of, like we talked about earlier, about standing, being you.
Yeah, being your authentic self.
Yeah. So that is very draining. And I know, because I used to attempt to do that. I used to attempt to come up with a personality that other people are comfortable with and
looking forward to.
Yeah, and now I am. People are free not to like me.
Really? They get past?
Well, yeah, they are free not to like me. It's okay. And
and I feel the same way.
Yeah, and
what it is.
Yeah, and
that comes with grace and age.
Yeah, age. So yeah, Charlie's getting older, y'all. Now, me, on the other hand, I am being revamped. I am being reworked. So, and that brings me happiness.
There you go. Right. What's the guy who aged back? Benjamin Button. Benjamin Button
went backwards. Right. Yeah. I know, and I don't know if I would want to go backwards necessarily, because there's a lot of, well, yeah, I guess that might be another show too. Would you go back?
Would you go back? Yeah.
Real quick. Would you?
Not so much.
No. Yeah. See, I mean, because it's like,
who wants to be in their 20s all over again?
Exactly.
Trying to figure out life.
And I speaking of taking time to have some fun and to be entertained, when I went to see The Flash, that's what happened. You remember he changed one little thing in this multiverse, and it changed everything in all the other multiverses. So,
right.
You go back trying to fix one thing and you muck up 100 others. So
right. No, I don't. Yeah. Leave it alone. Let it be.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Let it be. But so besides the job and the children and everything, you mentioned reading. Is there a particular type of literature that you enjoy to read?
Yes. So when I'm cracking open a book,
I thought you were gonna say cracking open a cold one.
Yeah, right. Look, give me my beer. Hello, thank you. No, my things that I love to read is anything that is going to be, one, spiritual, two, problem solving skills, empowerment, of course, how to manage money. Don't we all need to know how to do that?
Yes.
Having a good relationship with money.
And I'm working on that. My relationship is better with money, but I'm working on that. Your uncle, my brother's all is always like, money ain't everything, but it what it don't fix. He's his favorite song is Barrett Strong. Money, that's what I want. That song.
Yeah. So, that's what we all want. So, that it doesn't make you happy, but it sure helps to.
It helps you to enjoy your happiness.
There you go. And I think with that, I think we are.
Well, I think we're gonna. Let's. How we doing over there? I was over there, Angelo. 2. Okay, see,
2 minutes.
2 minutes.
2. So you guys will, we always open this up every week. If you guys ever want to come on the show, we would love to have you. If you're an entrepreneur and you're trying to grow your business, brand yourself, please let us know. We'd love to have you on, because we're about helping others grow.
Yeah.
And what else, Dad?
We have this Speaking Facts with Charlie and JR Facebook page. So send us a friend request. Let us hook up with you. We are expanding ourselves. We are growing. So So I was just told that our producer can be dangerous, and we agree with that, don't we?
Yes, we do.
So Yeah, and
and being crazy, and that's true. Sometimes you want to be crazy. Be crazy. If it makes you happy, just do it.
Yeah, just don't inflict it on anybody else. But if you want to be crazy, be crazy. You know,
Yeah,
yeah,
just, if
Kim,
you want to nut up,
yeah,
just nut
yeah.
up.
Kim said guns make her happy. I'm only going to shoot the paper, but
And
guns
I'm
make me
afraid, and
happy.
I'm afraid of guns. Like
Yeah,
that's
so
a whole nother topic, right?
yes, it is. But so we're now officially out of time. On behalf of Charlie, this is Jr. Speaking facts with Charlie and Jr. We will
That's
be back
right.
next Tuesday, 7 p.m. Again, hit us up, and until then, love yourself. Because if you do, it'll be easier to love somebody else.
That's
Talk to
right.
y'all later.
Bye, y'all.